Subscribe to the Stoic guidance before this video begins, because what you are about to hear is not motivation for a moment. It is a challenge for a lifetime. There is a version of you that wakes up every day, already tired, already defeated, already making excuses before the world has even asked anything of you. Marcus Aurelius warned about this version of a man long before our time. He never called him weak out of hatred, but out of honesty. Because the most dangerous enemy is not outside you. It is the self that prefers comfort over duty, distraction over discipline, and noise over truth. As 2026 approaches, you stand at a silent crossroads, not one the world can see, but one your soul already feels. One path leads to growth, clarity, and inner strength. The other leads to repetition, regret, and a quiet decay that no one notices until years are gone. Stoicism exists for this moment, not to make you emotionless, but to make you unbreakable. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not for an audience, not for praise, but to remind himself of who he must be when no one is watching. He understood something we forget today. Life does not become hard suddenly. It becomes weak slowly. A little laziness here, a small excuse there, one day wasted, then another, until a man looks in the mirror and no longer recognizes the authority in his own eyes. The weak version of yourself does not scream. He whispers. He says, "You can start tomorrow." He says, "Others have it worse." He says, "This is just how life is." And if you listen long enough, he will steal years from you without ever raising his voice. Stoicism teaches that your character is shaped in moments no one applauds. When you choose discipline over desire. When you choose silence over reaction. When you choose effort over ease. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he was born for work, not comfort. Not work in the sense of money or status, but the work of becoming better than yesterday. Ask yourself honestly, are you living according to your highest potential, or are you negotiating with your weaknesses every day? The weak self loves negotiations. He bargains with time. He bargains with principles. He bargains with self-respect. And every time you agree, you teach him that he is in control. The Stoic path is not loud. It does not promise instant success or emotional highs. It promises something far more powerful: mastery. Mastery over impulse, mastery over fear, mastery over the inner chaos that destroys more lives than any external enemy ever could. Marcus Aurelius believed that the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. If your thoughts are scattered, reactive, and undisciplined, your life will reflect that disorder. The weak version of yourself thrives in mental noise, endless scrolling, endless consumption without creation. He wants you distracted because a distracted mind never challenges itself. Strength begins the moment you stop running from discomfort. Stoicism does not teach you to seek pain, but it teaches you not to fear it. The gym of the mind is built through resistance, through waking up when you do not feel like it, through doing the right thing even when no one rewards you, through holding your tongue when ego begs you to speak. As 2026 approaches, the question is not what the world will demand of you. The question is what you will demand of yourself. Will you continue to live as a reaction to circumstances, or will you become the cause of your own transformation? Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet he reminded himself that power over others means nothing without power over the self. You may not rule an empire, but you rule something far more important: your choices. Every single day, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. And most people, without realizing it, vote for weakness through neglect. The weak self avoids responsibility because responsibility exposes limits. But limits are not enemies. They are invitations. Invitations to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Stoicism teaches that obstacles are not interruptions to the path. They are the path. Look at your habits. They are the footprints of your character. Do they lead toward strength or stagnation? Do they sharpen your mind or dull it? The weak self loves habits that numb. Excess comfort, excess entertainment, excess excuses. Strength, on the other hand, is built through intentional discomfort, through routines that demand something from you. Marcus Aurelius warned that you could spend your entire life avoiding what you were meant to do, not because you were incapable, but because you were unwilling to endure the process. The weak self is impatient. He wants results without effort, respect without discipline, peace without self-control. Stoicism demands honesty, brutal honesty. It asks you to look at your life without filters or lies, to admit where you have been weak, not to shame yourself, but to reclaim authority over your future. Because awareness is the first act of strength. The year does not change a man changes himself. 2026 will not save you. Motivation will not save you. Only disciplined action guided by principle will. Marcus Aurelius understood that every morning you are given a choice: to rise as the master of your mind, or to surrender it to impulses you do not control. The weak version of yourself hopes you will wait. The strong version of yourself is built the moment you refuse. The strong version of yourself does not ask for permission. He does not wait for inspiration. He does not negotiate with laziness. Every choice he makes is a declaration: I will not be defeated by yesterday's mistakes or today's distractions. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the mind rules the world, not circumstance. If you rule your mind, nothing else can truly touch you. Consider how many days, weeks, even months you have surrendered to small compromises. The weak self whispers, "It's okay. You deserve a break. You'll start tomorrow." And tomorrow never comes. The strong self rises today. He understands that procrastination is the silent assassin of potential, and every delay strengthens weakness and erodes confidence. Your life is the sum of repeated choices, not random luck. Every action, every decision, every thought is a vote for the person you are becoming. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Do you see the weight of that statement? It is not theoretical, it is a command. Stop debating with yourself and start living as the version of yourself who cannot be broken by excuses. The weak self craves comfort because it fears accountability. He hides behind distractions, social media, endless entertainment, meaningless arguments. He tells you, "Relax, you've done enough today." But the truth is, he never does enough. Strength is not measured by fleeting pleasure, but by consistent action. Every morning you resist indulgence in comfort. You chip away at weakness and carve out a stronger version of yourself. Marcus Aurelius meditated on mortality not to scare himself, but to remind himself that life is finite. Your time is slipping silently, and every day you waste listening to the weak self is a day you will never get back. Ask yourself, will you allow another day to pass in quiet surrender, or will you act as if every moment is your last chance to improve? Stoicism teaches that death is not an end. It is the ultimate teacher. It asks you to live fully, intentionally, and with discipline while you still can. The weak version of yourself wants shortcuts, but strength has no shortcuts. Discipline is not glamorous, consistency is not flashy, and growth is not instantaneous. Yet these are the only paths that matter. Every small victory against laziness, distraction, or fear compounds into unstoppable momentum. Every time you say no to the weak self, you say yes to mastery. Look at your emotions. The weak self reacts to them. He is tossed by anger, fear, or envy. The strong self observes them, controls them, and acts regardless of them. Stoicism is not emotionless. It is mastery over the inner storm. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Strength does not come from avoiding challenges. It comes from facing them head-on, repeatedly, until resistance itself becomes a familiar ally. Every obstacle you encounter is not a punishment, but a test of your commitment to the higher version of yourself. The weak self complains. The strong self perseveres. The weak self hides. The strong self acts. Your routines matter more than you realize. The weak self thrives on chaos and inconsistency. He wants you scattered, exhausted, and distracted. He is subtle but relentless. The strong self builds rituals, disciplines, and habits that elevate every day. Rise early. Exercise your body. Train your mind. Reflect on your choices. Speak only when necessary. These are not burdens. They are investments in the invincible self you are becoming. Marcus Aurelius faced an empire filled with turmoil, betrayal, and hardship. Yet he remained grounded in principle, acting according to virtue rather than comfort. You may not have an empire, but you have your life, and it demands the same courage, integrity, and discipline. Every choice to act with honor, every rejection of weakness, is a victory over the version of yourself that would settle for mediocrity. If you want to defeat the weak version of yourself before 2026, you must stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop listening to excuses disguised as rational thoughts. Rise early, focus, reflect, and act. Discipline is not punishment. It is liberation. Every time you refuse to surrender to ease, every time you confront fear with courage, every time you challenge yourself when the world says, rest, you strengthen the version of yourself that cannot be shaken, defeated, or forgotten. The weak self fears the mirror because it reveals truth. The strong self welcomes it because it reveals opportunity. Marcus Aurelius constantly examined himself, asking, "Am I acting with purpose? Am I living according to reason? Am I growing stronger today than yesterday?" These questions are not optional. They are the path to mastery. Do not let the weak self steal another year. Do not let him convince you that comfort is more valuable than growth. The world does not reward the timid, the distracted, or the complacent. It rewards those who act with discipline, clarity, and purpose. You are capable of that. The stronger version of yourself is already within you. He is waiting for your commitment. He is waiting for your refusal to surrender. Rise above the whispers of laziness, the temptation of comfort, and the fear of responsibility. Face life with eyes wide open, with courage unwavering, and with a mind disciplined by reason. Marcus Aurelius would remind you, you cannot control the world, but you can control how you respond to it. In that control lies true freedom. The final battle is not with the world, not with your circumstances, not even with the people who challenge or doubt you. The final battle is always within. It is with that weaker version of yourself that still lingers in corners of hesitation, procrastination, and fear. Marcus Aurelius understood this battle better than anyone. Every day he reminded himself that strength is not measured by titles, wealth, or praise. It is measured by discipline, integrity, and unyielding action when no one watches. Imagine the life you could live if the weak self never dictated your decisions again. Imagine waking up every morning with clarity, purpose, and unstoppable momentum. Imagine approaching challenges not with dread, but with anticipation, knowing each obstacle is another opportunity to prove your mastery over self. That life is not a dream. It is within your reach, but it requires commitment. It requires action. It requires that you refuse to negotiate with weakness ever again. The weak self will try to return. He will whisper in moments of fatigue. He will tempt you with shortcuts and comfort. He will remind you of fear, doubt, and failure. And each time he does, you must respond as Marcus Aurelius would, calmly, rationally, and with unshakable resolve. Observe the thought, acknowledge it, and then act anyway. The strong version of yourself does not wait for courage to appear. He creates it through action. Your habits define you, not your intentions, not your wishes, not your dreams, but your habits. The weak self avoids responsibility because it is inconvenient, uncomfortable, and sometimes lonely. The strong self seeks responsibility because it is the gateway to growth, mastery, and freedom. Each decision you make to act despite discomfort, each choice to prioritize discipline over ease, strengthens a foundation that the weak self cannot dismantle. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Every challenge, every obstacle, every distraction is neutral. It gains power only if you let it. Your mind is the battlefield, and the weak self is the first enemy. Conquer it, and no external circumstance can hold sway over you. The year 2026 is coming, whether you are prepared or not. Do not wait for some external event to push you into action. Do not wait for motivation, luck, or the perfect moment. Take action now. Build routines that reinforce discipline. Face challenges head-on. Control your thoughts. Strengthen your body and mind. Reflect daily. Speak truth. Act with integrity. And never surrender to the whispers of your weaker self. Think of your future self. Will he thank you for yielding to weakness today? Or will he honor you for rising again and again against every excuse, every temptation, every hesitation? Stoicism is not passive. It is a daily choice, a constant, active battle to live with purpose, clarity, and unshakable strength. The weak self cannot be reasoned with, bribed, or ignored. He must be defeated through action. Each victory over him compounds. Each day you refuse his whispers, you grow stronger, more disciplined, and closer to the version of yourself Marcus Aurelius described. Rational, resilient, and unbreakable. Life will not pause for you to catch up. Time will continue, indifferent to your weaknesses. But your choices, each one, determine whether 2026 becomes a year of surrender or a year of mastery. The battle begins now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, rise with purpose, act with discipline, build strength, and let the weak version of yourself fade into irrelevance. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Today, not tomorrow." Every moment you hesitate is a moment lost. Every time you act with intention is a step closer to mastery. The weak self cannot survive in a life lived deliberately. The strong self thrives in it. Choose wisely, act relentlessly, and in doing so, you will conquer yourself, the only victory that truly matters. Your journey is not easy, but it is essential. The weak self will challenge you until your last breath. But with discipline, reflection, and action guided by Stoic principles, he can be defeated. And when he is, you will experience a freedom, strength, and inner authority that few ever attain. 2026 will not define you. The choices you make now will. Rise, act, dominate your mind, strengthen your character, reject weakness, become unbreakable. Live as Marcus Aurelius would advise, with virtue, with courage, and with unwavering discipline. The weak self will whisper no longer. The strong self has taken command.